Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Northeastern High School, and welcome to the 2023 Northeastern High School Veterans Day Assembly. Students, it is important for you to know that Northeastern High School has been hosting this Veterans Day Assembly since 2001. In a few moments, Mr. Schwartz will begin the assembly by introducing our distinguished guests and explain in more detail about why this Veterans Day Assembly is cherished by the Northeastern School District community. Students, all building-wide assemblies require a degree of respect as guests, students, or staff are putting forth time and effort to present or share with the student body. Today's Veterans Day Assembly requires an even greater level of respect as Northeastern High School is honoring those who have gone before us in service to our country. Students, please be reminded to represent yourself and your school with pride. Give the presenter and other adults your full attention and cooperation. Silence your cell phones and put them away. And approach the assembly with an open mind. I want to thank each and every one of you for your cooperation with these expectations. I will now welcome Mr. Schwartz to the stage.
So, good morning, Northeastern. It is a pleasure and an honor to stand here again as we remember our veterans on another Veterans Day weekend. As we bring this Veterans Day assembly, in a few moments, the color guard is going to present the colors. I'm going to ask you to please stand and remain standing until the color guard leaves the stage and has a seat also in the front row. Meaning, during the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, you will please stand, remove your hats, please participate, and remain standing until, again, the color guard leaves the stage. So would you please rise for the presentation of the colors?
Color guard, halt. Left, face. Reset, arm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
Port arms. Right stage. Forward march.
Okay, you may be seated. May I have your attention, please? Thank you very much, Mr. Izzy, and thank you to the administration for allowing us again to do this assembly. Here we gather once again, November 10th, the day before Veterans Day, and our country still has men and women in harm's way somewhere in the world. 105 years ago tomorrow, November 11th, 1918, the guns fell silent over the battlefields of Europe with the signing of the armistice, ending the great and terrible war, what also was referred to as the war to end all wars. Today we know that event as World War I, but it was not until the world collapsed into another global conflict known today as World War II. Originally named Armistice Day, November 11th has been called Veterans Day since 1954. It is a day to teach, to honor, and to remember the brave men and women who have served and continue to serve in our armed forces. Today we remember the men and women who have served with distinction throughout American history, dating back, to 1775 and the Revolutionary War. Happy birthday to the U.S. Marine Corps. And additional military conflicts, including the War of 1812, the Mexican War, the Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and most recently, Iraq and Afghanistan. Our military has been in many other countries around the world, helping in the struggle for freedom and democracy, such as Grenada, Panama, Haiti, and Bosnia. These places may not be as familiar to us as such locations as Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, Incheon, the Mekong Delta, Kabul, or Baghdad. But they are no less important, for they all symbolize service and self-sacrifice on the part of our military veterans. So we honor and remember. As I reflect upon this assembly program again, as I have done for many years, it is an opportunity to teach the value of patriotism. I still cannot find better words than those spoken by Captain John Miller, a character in the movie Saving Private Ryan. Just moments before his death, Captain Miller speaks two very important words to Private James Ryan. Earn this. Earn this. I believe this film to be a window into a time in which uncommon valor was commonly practiced. But what have we done as a nation to earn what our veterans, not just of World War II, have done, but all veterans who have worn the uniform of service and sacrifice? Have we individually done something to make someone's life a little easier and better in some way? Do we demonstrate our love and respect for our country, just like has been demonstrated by our military veterans? Have we learned from their example? I would like to ask each of you sitting here today this question. What do you believe about this country? Do you believe it is worth protecting our way of life and the blessings that freedom has provided each of you? Do you believe it is worth defending the very freedom that an individual has the opportunity to worship freely or to speak freely his or her mind, even if it is contrary to popular thought or someone else finds offensive? Do you believe that Americans are the only people who should have the opportunity to enjoy the very blessings of a democratic government that grants freedom without fear of reprisal or oppression? It does not matter today what your political affiliation is or your personal stance on important social issues. Today is the day to teach, honor, and remember the men and women of our country who have served this country with pride and distinction as members of the United States Armed Forces. It is through the unselfish sacrifice and service of our military veterans who served in times of war, but also during times of peace, that we are able to gather freely here today. America has long been a model of democratic government for the world. When freedom and liberty has been threatened, the American soldier, whether on land, on the sea, or in the air, has responded. In the movie The Lost Battalion, Major Charles Whittlesey said, "Life would be a lot simpler if we could choose our duties and our obligations. We can't and we shouldn't." A World War I song says, "Blood shed for all, sacrifice and tears, love of our flag and country dear." That belief is embodied in our veteran guests with us today. These brave men and women stepped forward to serve when the nation called. Some left the safety of home and the familiar for the uncertainty and the danger inherent in a war zone. Many of us here today know veterans, some whose service to country ended years ago, some who may currently be in harm's way. So we honor and remember them today as well. Veterans Day is not about sales at local department stores, nor is it a marketing pitch. Every day we should take pride in the time to honor our veterans and their sacrifice, which has made our country what it is today. I challenge each of you, that when you see a veteran, say thank you. It is only a small token of appreciation, but it can mean so much. So it is with great pride and admiration and a sincere thank you that I introduce to you today our honored guests. So ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand to be recognized as I call your names? Richard Schaefer, U.S. Army. Patrick Rambo, U.S. Army. Tom Ginrick, U.S. Army. Todd Richwine, U.S. Army. Steve Kraft, U.S. Navy. And Roger Miller, U.S. Marine Corps. We have several members of our staff who are also military veterans. Mrs. Susan Schleig, who is a member of our tech staff, U.S. Army Reserve. Mrs. Wendy Seifert, United States Army. And Dr. Wendy King, United States Navy. seated, gentlemen. Thank you for your service. Our keynote speaker this morning is Gilbert Dusty Duran. Dusty Duran is a retired lieutenant colonel with a diverse background in the U.S. Army and Pennsylvania National Guard. He transitioned to a career in public service where he focuses on policy, planning, and legislative affairs, particularly concerning Pennsylvania's service members, veterans, and their families. Dusty currently serves as the Director of Policy, Planning, and Legislative Affairs for the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs in Pennsylvania. In the military, he held various leadership roles, including serving as the Pennsylvania Counter-Drug Joint Task Force Commander and deploying to Afghanistan in support of enduring freedom. Dusty received several awards for his dedicated service, including the Bronze Star and Purple Heart. He holds a Master's of Business Administration from Delaware Valley College and a Bachelor of Science in Management Science from Lock Haven University. Dusty grew up in the Milton Hershey School and is proud to be a brown and gold Spartan, where he graduated in 1985. Dusty currently resides in Palmyra, Pennsylvania with his wife Andrea and their daughter Ava. He has 2 grown children, Austin and Connor, who are pursuing their education at East Stroudsburg University of Pennsylvania and the United States Military Academy at West Point, respectively. Dusty, welcome to Northeastern High School.
Good morning, Northeastern High School. Boy, my voice is really cracking. I just want to first start off by thanking the national anthem and those who sang the chorus. It was a beautiful rendition, very well. I'm truly excited to be here and see many of you here today to gather and celebrate Veterans Day and honor veterans. As I begin, I want to first take a moment and thank Sandy Brenner, who reached out to me and asked me if I would attend today. Sandy's husband, John, was a Vietnam veteran who, more importantly, was a model of service to community and others. I met him as the chairman of the Pennsylvania State Commission for Veterans, a position he held for many years. Over those several years, he became a mentor, coach, advisor, and a friend. When we were working on a project that was not cooperating and frustrating both of us, I recall him saying, "If not us, then who will get this done?" This is a good lesson for all of us. If not us, then who? While John is missed, he is honored as an inductee in the Pennsylvania Department of Military and Veterans Affairs Hall of Fame for his sacrifice to others and service. Thank you, Sandy. At the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, we have a mantra, "Together we serve." And that's a great reminder to all of us that we all have a responsibility to support and serve Pennsylvania veterans, service members, and their families. To all the veterans here today, thank you for your service to our great nation. If you ever served in the armed forces, please stand up and remain standing. Gentlemen, ladies, please. Thank you for giving them a round of applause and for their service and sacrifice, and welcome home. Now, if you're a mother, father, sister, brother, or a relative of somebody who is serving or has served, please stand up and remain standing. Let's applaud your love and support for these heroes. Now I ask each and every one of you to stand together as a school and community to honor those who have served and are still serving. Isabella, please come on. Come here. I just want you to know how awesome this is. I've asked Isabella to come up and take a video real quick just to see how awesome it is to have the whole school and community standing together, united on this day. Today we stand together, we honor veterans of all generations, past, present, and those who will serve in the future. Get your video? Thank you. Please be seated. That was awesome. I'm telling you, if you could see what it looked like from up here, you'd be amazed. So you see, together we do serve. Just as we stood together now to honor our veterans, we stand together every day to ensure that these brave men and women are recognized for their sacrifices and receive the benefits they so rightly earn. While Veterans Day is just one day, its meaning should be carried out throughout the whole year. It is a holiday established for a profound reason: to honor those who protected our right to freedom, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and freedom to demonstrate. Their unwavering commitment is the reason our flag flies high and why we live our lives without fear. Their sacrifices have allowed us to enjoy the rights and privileges we often take for granted. Veterans Day is more than just words. It's about having the courage to take action. As Mark Twain once said, the patriot is a scarce man, altogether brave, hated, and scorned. Being a patriot is not always easy, but it is vital. Patriotism means not only supporting your country, but it also means standing up for the principles that make it great, even when it's difficult. It's a role for each of us to embrace, and it's essential to remember that being a patriot goes beyond parades and celebrations. It's about embodying the values that veterans have fought for. It must also be acknowledged that service comes with sacrifice. Veterans often carry physical and unseen scars for their service. They endure the strains of being away from home and loved ones for extended periods. That's the price they pay for our freedoms, a price we can never fully repay. As we look up at our national anthem and our national flag soaring around our town, engage in the joys of everyday life and exercise our rights, let's remember the sacrifices made by veterans everywhere. Their dedication should not only inspire us to be grateful, but to also ask ourselves, if not us, then who? Today is a time for our communities to unite, showing their appreciation through ceremonies like this one and acts of kindness throughout the year. Finally, when the United States deploys troops to face dangerous situations around the world, they are sending some of their finest individuals. Our service members who are actively supporting operations overseas and addressing threats right here at home are not only dedicated to the military service, but most of them, and many of them, are our neighbors, police officers, teachers, news reporters, firefighters, and doctors. They represent the very best of our community has to offer, and they carry an immense responsibility with unwavering courage and a profound sense of service. This Veterans Day, let's extend our deepest gratitude for those who have served and those who stand ready to protect the homeland. Thank you for joining in the celebration of service and demonstrating your unwavering support for our nation's veterans on this special day. Together, let's turn our words into meaningful actions and make positive impacts on our community to support and uplift those who have done so much for us. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all you have done. Thank you for your support, and together we serve.
Thank you, Dusty. I would ask now that you please focus your attention on the screen as we honor the veterans in our lives. sure my most favorite part of this assembly. But we cannot gather here to honor our living veterans without taking a moment of silence to remember those who served with distinction but are no longer with us. So please let us stand for a moment of silence as we remember those who have passed. You may be seated. I would personally like to thank Mr. Weichert once again for his time in creating our video tribute to veterans. Thank you, DW. To Odyssey for adding their musical talent in the singing of our national anthem. To the members of the VFW Color Guard from Mount Wolf for presenting the colors and participating in our assembly today. And to Cameron Sands for your rendition of Taps. I'll now turn the program back over to Mr. Izzy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that I truly appreciate, again, your consideration and respect for our service this morning. I'd like to thank publicly again Mr. Schwartz. He had put a lot of time and effort into this. Again, he has been working on this, presenting this assembly since 2001. I also think it would be a great opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to once again recognize and acknowledge our participants today and recognize and acknowledge our veterans. Students, please take a moment to listen carefully to my directions. At this time, we will be transitioning back to homeroom. Just wait. We will be starting to dismiss the auditorium, beginning with the back of the room. So please take your time. Teachers, if you want to start heading back to your classrooms a while. Students, just remain in your seats, please. Students, remain in your seats, please, for a moment. And students, please begin to dismiss from the rear of the auditorium. Freshmen, sophomores, juniors at the rear auditorium, please. That's good.
little. Okay, you want to take something in front? Because I'm not often dressed up. I mean, I do have it to dress. I just don't always. I don't really smile, so I'm holding out a lot of expectations. And I did ask Dave if he was going to record it. I didn't know if he wanted that as part of the, so they said they were going to try. I know sometimes they do, but when they can't record the whole thing because the stuff is copyrighted. The music and the art is copyrighted. But that was an old presentation, so I think we said that was from 2018. Because up until a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't doing this. I said I just had the occasion to be Facebook messaging back and forth with somebody, Steve Lee, who had spoken before, and he lived in the area. He's now, I don't think he's in Virginia anymore. I think he's out in the Midwest somewhere. I don't know. I lost track of it.
Yeah.
But he consented for a day, and then he was having surgery earlier this week. Well, maybe I should. Well, now that I'm on to this, hey Sandy, do you know anybody? Because I've exhausted my list of people that I know. So and again, expect the worst and hope for the best, and I think you got the best that they could possibly be.
They were.